This episode of Coach's Corner brought to you by The Groove Yard, More Than a Rock Store, Divine Hammer Computers, custom-built fast computers, and Advanced Audio Microphone Summerland. On this episode of Coach's Corner from the Best Damn Sports Bar, we talk about the 11-0 whitewash over the Coquitlam Express last weekend. VEES coming out and taking it to the Express. Also talk about a big weekend, Friday against Merritt in Alberni Valley on Saturday. Hogs versus Hosers, charity hockey game, police and the fire department Friday. We need to free Murray from jail. We need 3,500 fans. We'll talk about that and more because Coach's Corner starts now.
From the Best Damn Sports Bar on Martin Street in Penticton, with our 4th season, this is Coach's Corner. It's the show that brings you insight to the on and off ice action of the 2012 RBC Cup National Champions, the Penticton VEES. Host Fraser Rogers is joined by VEES head coach and GM Fred Harbinson with the Best Damn studio audience for the Best Damn VEES talk. Now, here's Coach Harbinson and Fraser Rogers.
And welcome to another episode of Coach's Corner from the Best Damn Sports Bar here on Martin Street in Penticton, episode 15 this year. And before we talk about the weekend that was last weekend, big night tomorrow night actually, 24 hours basically from now, Hogs versus Hosers, charity hockey in the first intermission. Urging fans to get there early because Mark Donnelly, anthem singer, will be there, but on the ice, always some fireworks with these two teams, Merritt and the VEES, but off the ice should be a good night as well.
Yeah, whenever our teams can, the teams of the BCHL can, play games for a great cause, as this one is, it always adds to things, and this whole lead up, there's been a lot of talk at the elementary schools, and it's great to see the young kids excited about coming to the game and taking part.
Yeah, your son Freddie's obviously in middle school right now. Breakfast program being helped out, School District 67 breakfast program, so that's a good cause as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you know what? Whenever we can give back to the community, we want to be part of it.
So tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Hogs versus Hosers. We'll talk about it more towards the end of the show, but make sure you get there early for a great game and great pregame festivities. Let's now go and talk about last weekend. The Coquitlam Express were in town. The VEES had Friday off, so Saturday was the only game. 11-0 romp over the Express. Funny with all the talent and goal scoring you had last year. Twice you reached 10 goals, but never 11. You've been in games. What's the highest game have you been in as a coach in junior hockey?
That might have been it. I can't remember what it was as a coach, but as a player, if you can believe it, I played in a game. It's still the record in the Alberta Junior League. I think we scored 19 goals in a game, and I will admit that we played that same team a week later in their building and lost in overtime. So it was a very strange thing, but that's back in the 80s, so you don't see a lot of that goal scoring like that. For both sides, you don't like to really see those kind of games. I think it was a perfect storm of us being very, very good, to them being obviously having a real bad night, an off night, and kind of all came together.
Short bench as well, 3 lines, fatigue. You can see it overmatched. In a game like that, is it tough being a coach because you don't want your players to start developing bad habits, taking shortcuts, and then trying to maybe be too fancy, but also you don't want to, like you said, embarrass your opponent. How do you walk that fine line?
Well, probably that's the best thing I took from that game. As a staff, we were real happy with our players. We didn't get away from our systems. I think we played very good systems in the third period. We did a great job in our own end to limiting chances, giving Chad Canner an opportunity to finish the shutout off. And special teams, we were strong on both sides of it. And and you got to give Coquitlam a lot of credit for not getting dirty and with the score out of reach. It could have been easy for them to start running around taking shots, and I thought both teams handled themselves very well.
Yeah, just one penalty at the end to Bradley Ryan, but a pretty clean performance by the Express. One player you raved about, obviously, not just his stat line, but just his play in that game. One of his better performances all around, Wade Murphy. A career high, he told me he had 5 points with the Victoria Grizzlies, never had 7 in the game, 2 goals, 5 assists on Saturday night. What stood out for you that made him just a dominant player in that game?
Well, his play away from the puck. I mean, when you get 7 points, you think that the puck's on his stick all night. But, I think he created a lot of opportunities with some pretty big back checks. Probably one of his more physical games that he's been, that over the last month here. And when Wade, was at his best last year was when he was playing physical, when he was playing 200-foot hockey. And he clearly was doing it, on Saturday night, and he was rewarded for it.
2 goals, obviously the 5 assists. Started out with a couple assists before he got his first and second goal. In that second period, he scored first 2 goals of that period for your team. Both goals scored goals that the Wade Murphy of old you like to see when releasing that puck.
Yeah, he has a pro release. There's no question about it. And that one, where he came in over the blue line, top of the circle, and before. When he got his game going on and not second guessing himself, he's not dusting pucks off. He's just getting it on his stick and he's snapping it. There's not many that can do it better than him. And unfortunately, he gets 7 points. Unfortunately, it wasn't good enough for Player of the Week. I think with our program, you need to maybe have the 10-point night to get that. But for whatever reason, he was overlooked. But obviously, it wasn't overlooked by our fans in town.
Yeah, 7-point performance for him. Is it good to see him get a game like this? January, late December, kind of a struggle offensively. Wasn't playing bad hockey, but he admitted to me saying he's a frustrated hockey player. Do games like this maybe get a guy in a role heading into the playoffs?
Absolutely, and I think if there was one, another area that we were happy about getting the 11 goals was that Travis Blandley comes back from injury. He gets a chance to score. Cam Amatea, Cody DePort keeps it going, and as you mentioned, Wade gets the 7 points, and so. For us, we're a team that needs to spread the scoring out throughout our lineup, and but Wade is clearly one of our go-to guys and a guy that's always on the power play and a veteran player, and we will definitely be a harder team to beat in the playoffs if he can get on a roll.
You talked about Blonley. I want to transition to that. Obviously, in the first period and second, third shift of the game, he scores a nice goal, set up by Amatea on a nice forecheck. Didn't look any worse for Ware coming back from that lower body injury, missing a month of action. Are you surprised as how fluid he looked out there on the ice to start that game?
Well, his hands looked a lot better than when he was with us before, but we were kind of teasing him about it. But not really a surprise when Travis is a kid that works so extremely hard and he plays with a motor and plays the game that we the way we like to play it, and I think the one thing our whole team, took I think got a real boost for him being back in the lineup, not just in the game, but throughout the week in practice. We had one of the best weeks of practice we've had all year, and it carried into this week, again. And I think getting guys like Travis back and getting, Rob Mann getting ready to go this week, and I think they're real, guys that that the rest of the teammates really care about, and it's nice to see them back.
Now the power play as well, up and down most of the year. Took off on Saturday night, 4 for 5 at one point. I think officially finished 4 for 8 with some power plays at the very end of the game. But what did you notice from, besides the goals and the finish, what did you notice from that power play?
Well, you know what, like I said, when the word confidence is always overused nowadays, but we kind of get feeling a little mojo going, and you're feeling good, and you're not second guessing. You see the openings, you're moving. I thought we moved the puck well. We moved bodies. We weren't stationary. Things were just coming together, and that was part of the reason why we've got some guys out there that don't usually get on the power play to throw them a bone when the score was out, but at the same time we wanted to get our regular guys out there too, because we needed to get reps on it in games, and goal scoring's down throughout the league. Our power play percentage has now moved up because of the last game, but it's something that's sort of in the middle of the pack where usually we're at the top, and once again it's something that we need to continue to work on so that we're strong come playoff time. The other side of the special teams have been great. I mean, our penalty kill, we're number 1 in the league. Yeah. Our home penalty kill is a little absurd with almost 96%. So that side of it's been good, and if we can just keep getting goals, at least one goal on the power play a night, we'll be in good shape. Lastly,
I was proposed this question this week leading up to the weekend concerning having a score like that going into a tough weekend with Merritt and Alberni Valley. I know your team obviously played hard, so maybe that just kind of discounts that question, but how would you react to that?
We realize, most nights aren't going to be, we haven't had many easy nights. To be honest with you, for me, for my blood pressure, I didn't mind having the 11-goal spot. We've been in a lot of mostly 1-goal games all year long. So, we're well aware of what we're going to get into this weekend. I think our guys are aware of it. Our week of practice, as I mentioned earlier, was outstanding. And yesterday there was almost 3 fights in practice because they were competing so hard against each other. And but they're doing it with respect to each other and wanting to make each other better. And we're sick and tired of hearing about other teams saying they should have beat us, or they should have won that game, or they deserve to win that game. And we're playing a team tomorrow night that obviously wants to be in first place, and unfortunately for them, they're not. And the only way they're going to get there is if they go through us. And we're not really ready to move over right now.
We'll talk about tomorrow night a little bit more in this show. We'll come back after this break as well. Coach's Corner for the Best Damn Sports Bar continues after this.
Here's a look at the VEES upcoming schedule. Remember, home or away. Follow all the action on Easy Rock AM 800 or online at www.myeasyrock.com. Why not join us next time as part of our studio audience at the Best Damn Sports Bar for another episode of Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner here from the Best Damn Sports Bar. Rolling on in the middle of the show. Win streak had the carrot, I guess, dangling for your players. 7 games you wanted BCHL best. You hit that last weekend. 7 wins in a row now. 6 was the BCHL high and the VEES high. This team doesn't seem like it's slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, there's really no reason for it. I mean, I think the guys can feel around the room right now. Everyone seems to have a little extra, jump in their step, and it's a real good demeanor around the room. And winning breeds that. But we talked about it today. I think our guys have been really handling themselves well away from the rink, and they've been doing a lot of community event stuff, and I've been getting a lot of feedback on that. And I told the guys today, I said, a lot of times you feel good because you're winning, but maybe you're winning because you're feeling good. So it kind of goes together. And right now we don't want that mood to change in the locker room, and it obviously could in a hurry if you don't do the right things on Friday and Saturday night. But at this time we're ready. We feel that we've definitely got them prepped for Friday night, and then we'll get ready to Saturday morning for Alberni when they come in. And I think if we're prepared and we play hard, we'll be in good shape.
Backbone for this team a lot of this year successfully was defensive play away from the puck. Since that January road trip on the island in Lower Mainland, this team's been red hot offensively. Was there something said late January before this kind of team started breaking out offensively?
Yeah, I told them we wouldn't feed them if they didn't start scoring. So, no, it's we definitely wanted to score more goals. I mean, no question. But we haven't made it a real priority. I mean, we know with the talent we have that sooner or later guys would finish. And the last 8 games, as you mentioned, we've scored 5 or more goals in 5 of the 8. So that's a good sign. And but the way the season's going, the way the league is built this year, with all the a lot of parity in the league and the goaltending and whatnot, is we need to be able to play lockdown hockey. And the last 20 games, our goals against is just under 2. We're 1.9, and at home we're 1.5 goals a game. 1.5 at home. So. If we can continue to be strong in our own end, now we're adding, like I mentioned earlier, a 20-year-old and Rob Mann on the back end, and I think Chad Cadner's been playing, getting back in his groove. If we can limit teams to 2 goals, then hopefully we'll be able to score 3 or more. 160
plus goals, well ahead in the BCHL goal scoring race. But as you just mentioned, on the flip side, and that's my next topic, is defensively. Same time, this team has been very stingy since 2013, flipped over. What do you see mostly? I know you had a up and down game in Powell River on that Friday, January 19th. You had a very spirited speech to the team before that game in Alberni Valley, and since then, defensively, this team's been pretty ordinary to play against, it seems like.
Yeah, I apologize that you had to sit in that restaurant and listen to that one when they opened it up for us. But you know what? It's for most part, our guys have been real diligent on our systems, and people might think I'm crazy for saying this, but I think that our team this year is actually better without the puck than we were a year ago. Now, part of that was that we had the puck all the time last year. But all honesty, our guys are very our hockey IQ is real high. When we don't have the puck, we seem to know, where to be at every given time, and then we, like we've always talked about, our teams are always built on speed. So speed, everyone, when you talk about speed, always talks about offense, but you need to be quick to play good defense, and our guys are committed to it. They're committed to playing, like we talk 200-foot hockey, playing in our own end and creating a transition game where we can take it to the other team. And I think our guys have bought into it. They understand what we need to do and how we're built, and we've got 4 lines up front that will definitely help a big, strong D-core.
Now, it's almost kind of meant to be right now defensively. Braden Park goes down with a lower body injury, not serious, but now Rob Mann slides right back in to fill that hole. Is it, coaches or players can be superstitious? Are you a little worried? Oh, Rob Mann hasn't been in this lineup since November, but I guess it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I mean, you mean not taking anything away from Parksy there. I mean, he's a warrior. He's going to be a player that'll probably wear a letter for us down the road. But you're adding a 20-year-old veteran defenseman, and it'll take some time. Just like when Chad Kettner was gone for a couple weeks and came back, he struggled in those first couple games, and now he's back at it. But our team's going to be these next 11 games are just a precursor to what's ahead of us in the playoffs. And Rob's going to be a physical and imposing force on the back end that we can use. And when you look at all 3 D pairings, all 7 D, I mean, there's not one defenseman on that core that we're going to have to hide from our opposition.
Maybe Troy Stetcher. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Maybe him. You look at Rob putting him in a lineup. Merritt, obviously, big game Friday. Then Alberni, very dangerous team offensively. Do you like to do that? Put him in against 2 tough teams and get him right back at it? You know what?
I mentioned earlier that our guys are excited. You can see that our guys are excited about him being back. When he makes plays in practice, the guys are hooting and hollering. And he didn't come here to wave the flag in the stands. I mean, he's we brought him out from Ontario to come here and help lead us back to the promised land. And you can tell, I'm real happy for him that he's going to get a chance to play. And it wouldn't matter if we're playing Merritt, Vernon, like it's Montreal Canadiens. I mean, whoever steps on the ice with us tomorrow night, he's excited, and we're happy to have him back.
Kind of circle back to the winning streak in general. These last 7 games, last month and change. You talked about it. Is the team concept, feeling good? Maybe it's why you're playing good, you're feeling good, vice versa. But you talked about off ice as well. This team seems pretty close this year. We saw it last year too, but it seems a little bit different this year with the dynamic in the dressing room. Yeah, you know what,
we try to bring in good people. I mean, and I think that's where it starts. I think if you recruit good people and you make your mistakes and in recruiting, and you make and kids make mistakes. I mean, it happens as the year goes on, but I think for the most part we have kids with very good hearts, and that's where it starts. And then if you have good people, then they'll do good things. And I think the way we try to run our with our staff, the amount of time we put in there with the guys, and just the way our locker room's set up, being more of a pro setting there, it breeds guys wanting to stick around and put in the work, maybe an extra workout, maybe you go in the lounge right now, guys are doing homework and whatnot. It's a good feel around there, and it doesn't mean that you're going to win a championship. I mean, we can't guarantee that, but I think if the people that maybe aren't around all the time saw that, I think there's a lot of people that are proud of this hockey club, and if they weren't sure about it and they saw some of the things that these guys are doing throughout the day, I'm sure they'd be pretty proud of them in a hurry.
That team concept shining through the VEES right now, riding high with a 7-game win streak. We'll talk about if they can get 8 after the break. We'll preview Merritt in Alberni Valley. This is Coach's Corner on the Best Damn Sports Bar.
Here's a look at the VEES upcoming schedule. Remember, home or away. Follow all the action on Easy Rock AM 800 or online at www.myeasyrock.com. Why not join us next time as part of our studio audience at the Best Damn Sports Bar for another episode of Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner here at the Best Damn Sports Bar. Now into the weekend and previewing Merritt for the first time since January 4th. Let's get into that. Always a good season series going back to last year. No different this year. 2 games apiece. Players must be excited playing a division. Probably the best rivalry right now, I'd say, in the BCHL between you two.
Well, yeah, I mean we're excited about playing them. We're 2-2 against them. It just by chance the 2 times that they've taken us, we've had I think half a dozen guys out of both games, and so we want to make sure we want to test ourselves against them with a full lineup or close to it. I mean, obviously Redbury's sitting out, but they're coming into our building, where it's. I think over the years we've proven to make it a very tough place for teams to grab points, and they're a team that, like I said earlier, wants to grab first place, and it's this is one of those years where there's not going to be an easy playoff round, and this might be a team that we may have to see down the road.
That's my next point. Could be a kind of playoff atmosphere, obviously, maybe a playoff preview tomorrow night.
Yeah, who knows, right? I think our guys are starting to get a little more up for these guys. At least I am, and which should help. I mean, you always knew that they always sort of had that. I mentioned last year a little bit of an inferiority complex where they always got to go on Twitter and talk about how we're the what do they call us, the evil empire and all this other BS. But it just for us it's another game, but it's a game at home, and when we play at home, we want to have success.
Now you have 2 games at home. Merritt's the first one. We're talking about it. 7 o'clock tomorrow. You saw Coquitlam on Saturday, obviously. What do you expect from Merritt? Obviously a team that's at a different level right now, but is it the same old just nose to the grindstone type mentality coming at you?
Yeah, a lot of times it'll be interesting to see what approach they take. Sometimes in the past they've tried to take runs at us to try to play physical, and it's easier in their building, obviously, where there's not much room. We know kind of how they're built up front. On the back end, they've got a good size again on the back end. They try to make plays. They've got a little more skill there than they maybe have had in the past, and but we at the same time we know that the way they like to step up in the neutral zone, that's where we want to try to counterattack in a hurry, and Steele, he's had his up and downs throughout the year. This year he can be a very good goaltender, and we want to make sure we get traffic in front of him.
Now it seems like even going back to last year, certain points in the regular season series, Merritt has a little bit of a meltdown. It seems like the walking the fine line is key for the VEES, because it seems like maybe second period, maybe it's late third period, they get in some penalty trouble, and that's where this team can take advantage.
Yeah, you know what, I think it goes back to just frustration level of years being built up of coming close and not getting it done, and now the gap is Luke's done a job there where the gap is closed, and so it'll be interesting. That's why I said it'll be interesting to see what approach they take. If they're going to try to play with us, or if they're going to try to take more of a physical approach. And in our building, when we're on our game, it's hard to it's hard for teams to do that against us. We've seen in the past when teams have tried to play that physical brand with us that we might make 3 passes before the hit's made, and I think that goes back to the point where we need to continue to get our power play better, where it'll deter teams from trying to be physical with us.
You mentioned Tyler Steele. My last point on Merritt. He can be a world beater at times, and sometimes he can be off his game night and day. To key for the V success, what do you got to do to get some pucks behind him? Had some success at home, it seems like, against them last 2 years.
Yeah, you know what, we've got a lot of wins against them over the last couple of years, and so like I said, Tyler's a very good goaltender. Like any goalie, you need to get traffic. You get second shot opportunities. I think getting pucks in his feet at times can give him trouble, and just make him battle, make him try to make saves, not missing nets early in the game. I think is key, and I think we're a pretty confident group right now that no matter who we're going against, we'll find success.
A lighthearted note, obviously Hogs and Hosers again tomorrow night. The fire department here in Penticton, along with the RCMP detachment, going head-to-head in the first intermission, a 20-minute game for charity, obviously raising money for the school district breakfast program, and also it's Feed the Valley night. So we're encouraging people to get early, and also Underwriters Insurance presenting Mark Donnelly, the famous anthem singer for the Canucks, before the game. So please get down early. But fire department, police, first intermission, blue versus red. You might be favoring the blue team. I don't know. Police won it last year. Who you got for a winner?
I'm going with the fire department. From what I'm hearing around town, they're getting jacked up pretty good for the game, and I know that I think the police, Neil Jameson was trying to get on the police team, but they held him off right now. So I think they weren't able to get that ace up their sleeve, so they're in trouble.
Mark Donnelly's playing for the fire department too. Anthem singer,
There you
accomplished goalie, men's league at Southpaw. So we'll see what happens. That's tomorrow night. Please get down early. Doors open at 6. Also, Mark Donnelly's signing autographs, taking pictures beforehand as well. Quickly transitioning now. We're tight on time, but Alberni Valley, a team you don't see often, just a second time, only time you'll see them again in the regular season. Highly skilled. They're on a road trip right now. What do you expect in that game?
A very quick team. It'll be a high tempo game, similar to with Surrey. I think the one area that you try to exploit with them is their backhand. I thought that we had we had over 40 some shots in their building, and I think a lot was attributed to their making their defensemen turn back for pucks. And but their forward group, they've got some very talented forwards, guys that work hard. They only need one chance to score a goal. They've been able to score goals all year. And then Jay Dio, their goaltender, smaller goaltender, had a lot of trouble with shots below the knees, finding tracking pucks. But he's had nights where he's been outstanding as well. So it should be another fun game.
Evan Tierney's highly skilled forward, leads the team in scoring. Very quiet against the VEES first time around. Played on Canada West as well. How do you isolate a player like that who is very skilled?
Well, at home we'll be able to get our matchups. So when we'll decide who we want up front against them, and usually the biggest thing is getting the proper D pairings out against them. And as I mentioned earlier, in the past usually you had maybe 2 shutdown defensemen, and now we can kind of go in different directions. When Sins and Man were playing together, they were we were leading the league in goals against, and Troy Stetcher can play a shutdown role against anybody, and you can kind of go through the list. So it's the big thing is making sure that that we know when those players are on the ice, and make sure that we're playing smart without the puck.
Lastly, are you keying on the start? Obviously, it's a 5 o'clock start. A lot of emotion and energy will be the night before. Big crowd, big game. They're playing in Trail the night before, but you're telling your players, make sure you're ready for this one as well. It's another 2 points.
Well, it all depends on how our outcome is the night before. If you lose the game, obviously I think our guys, you're not as worried about a letdown, because they're going to be a little angry. But hopefully we have success Friday night, and then our message first thing in the morning when we meet in the morning will be to keep the ball rolling here, and not to take because the one other carrot we keep talking about that we hadn't talked about till last week is we're still within grasp of the the Ron Boylo the President's Trophy, so to speak, and winning first overall. So until Victoria completely pulls away, we don't want to do the job for them by giving points away.
Neck and neck, VEES and the Victoria Grizzlies for first overall, but big close weekend as well. Fred Harbison, always thanks for coming on. This has been Coach's Corner. Hogs and Hosers tomorrow night, 7 o'clock puck drop. Doors open at 6. Get there early. It'll be a special night. Thanks everybody in the studio audience. We'll see you next Thursday right here from the Best Damn Sports Bar.
Coach's Corner has been a presentation of the Penticton VEES. Production services provided by Groovy Productions and Synergy Imaging. I'm Wayne Williams. And remember, everyone, help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered.